Hello, hope everybody's having a good evening. Hope you had a good day. Tonight we're going to talk about two things that I think will be helpful to some of you, and maybe for the rest of you, interesting at least. We're doing this video differently than how I typically do videos because the way I typically do videos doesn't work for a few different reasons. We'll talk about that probably in another video. I'm not going to be editing this video, so if it goes slower, I'm sorry about that. You can always speed it up, the video, or slow down your thinking, your choice. So this is our 1983 Honda Aero 50 scooter, Rocky. We got it running in a previous video, but there were a few things that still needed to be done before it could be ridden. We needed to get a key for it. Didn't have a key. And we also needed to fix the ignition wires. All the ignition wires were cut. I did both of those. If you come over here, camera girl, you can see the wires. I soldered and heat shrink wrapped all those.
That looks really nice.
Thank you. Left the cover off so I could show that off. Also got a key. I didn't get this from Robert, the previous owner. Wasn't able to get connected with him. Busy fella. I got this from eBay, and that's the first thing I want to share with you guys. If you have a motorcycle that's missing a key, oftentimes there's a code stamped on the ignition. If I can find a picture of that code, I'll put it on the screen right now. I'm not taking the ignition switch off just to show you the code. There's sellers on eBay where if you give them that code, they'll cut you a key. Really crazy thing happened. After the previous video about the Aero 50, somebody made a comment and said, "Hey Jake, I can make you a key for that bike." Well, at that time, I still thought Robert was going to get me a key. And generally, I don't like taking charity, but gifts, it's not charity. It's friendly gifts. I take it back. It's not charity. Generally, I don't take gifts. And I thought Robert was going to give me a key, so I just responded back, "I think I'm going to get the key from the previous owner." Didn't get the key from Robert. So I just went on eBay and found a seller that cut keys that was reasonably priced. Not the cheapest, but seemed to be the most respectable seller. He was also close to me. Ordered the key. And you know what happened? I got a message. I'm answering myself because you know what happened. I got a message. "Jake, is this you? Is this Jenny's Garage? I told you I'd make you a key." This was after I ordered the key. Did I mention that? I found the guy, sent him the code, ordered the key, then he put two and two together who it was and said, "I offered to make you a key on your video." It was the same guy. What I'm saying is, what a coincidence.
It is.
And he said, "I'm not letting you pay for that key." And I can't stop that. Gave me the key for free. I don't do endorsements, but just like I say, things like I bought this from Robert, and I buy things on Amazon. I bought this key from the Key Supply out of Granada Hills, beautiful Granada Hills, California. He's on eBay. He made me this key, and when I switch it on, tail light comes on. And after I open up this garage door, we'll try starting it up.
That was a great story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So here we go. That sounds beautiful to me.
It's great.
And look at the instrument panel. I know that we showed you this last time. Look at the 1980s special. I'm turning the light off for this. 1980s special instrument panel. When you ride this, you feel like you're riding a spaceship. A 1980s spaceship. So we'll take this for a ride soon. All of the electrical works. Well, almost all the electrical works. Low beams don't work because the bulb is burned out. And the turn signals don't work exactly like they should.
They're a disgrace.
Yeah, they're down here. I'll turn the lights back on. See how they're hanging down droopy?
Yeah.
I thought I might keep those though because it's going to be your scooter and your girl. These are kind of like earrings.
I didn't know what you were going to say there.
Dangly ones, see? Will I get the joke when I watch the video again?
You will.
So I'll show you guys the turn signals. These are original, and these up here are aftermarket LEDs. So when I turn them on, they illuminate but they don't flash, because to make the flasher work needs the incandescent bulbs.
Yeah.
If I had 2 incandescent bulbs, they would flash. I experimented with it earlier. Only thing I'm not sure about is the automatic choke. It sounds like it's still choked, and it should be off choke. You guys hear that? You probably hear that. I can't take the choke off manually. It's this electrical item down here. This is the choke. The electric bi-starter is the technical name for it. But it's getting really close to what I would consider rideable condition. Probably the most important thing that we haven't done to it yet is install an air filter, and that is the second thing that I want to talk to you guys about. First thing was the key. You know how to get a key for a motorcycle that doesn't have one now, but what if you have an old 1983 scooter that needs an air filter because the original one looks like this, turned to powder, and Honda doesn't make the original one. Honda doesn't make one for it anymore, and the aftermarket doesn't make one for it. There is one fella on eBay that sells, I think, homemade filters for this.
You should make some.
We're getting to that. But he's in Canada. And if I lived in Canada, I'd probably buy one from him, but I didn't buy one from him. Not just because he's in Canada. That was a nice courtesy laugh there. I'm getting familiar with this way of doing videos. I'll try to speak quicker.
Are you going to close the garage door? Not all of us can prance around in this weather in shorts and be comfortable.
Well, would you rather smell the smoke or be warm? I think that's how the options go. I'll shut the garage door. I had a reason for it. Anyhow, I wanted to get an air filter for it. Honda doesn't make one. And there weren't any for sale on eBay. That's usually the course I go if I need a part. I look for genuine Honda parts on one of the major parts retailers. If they don't have one, I look on eBay. What if eBay doesn't have it? Well, I could look on Facebook Marketplace.
Good luck.
But that's not happening. What I did was something that is unheard of. I called my local Honda Power Sports dealer. And I'll say who it was because they helped me and they taught me something that I didn't know. I think the place is called Stockton Honda Yamaha, or maybe Stockton Power Sports. Would you rather live in Stockton or Granada Hills?
Granada Hills.
Never been to Granada Hills, but I have been to Stockton.
I haven't been to Granada Hills either, but I have lived in Stockton.
Yeah, Granada Hills for me too. I called the dealer in Stockton, and they didn't have one in stock. I gave them the part number for the filter. They didn't have one in stock. I wish I would have remembered the guy's name. It wouldn't have made a difference. Why do I care? Don't remember the guy's name, but I feel like I should mention him. He said, "Let me see if any other dealers have that part. They're all connected to each other. I don't know how reliably they're connected. I imagine not all inventory is cataloged on the integrated dealer search engine."
I'd say it's semi-reliable.
Right, but there's a lot of stuff on the shelf. A lot of stuff just hanging out.
Yeah.
But he checked for me. He said, "I see a number of dealers that show that they have your air filter." He sent me the list, texted it to me, did what he said he was going to do. I called a dealer in Wisconsin. Sure enough, they had the air filter. They sent it to me. $12 including shipping.
That's not bad.
Not bad, especially since this is something that I couldn't get anywhere else.
Right.
And this wasn't the only dealer that had it. I don't remember why I chose that dealer. I think it was the first place that answered the phone. Talked to Chelsea. She mailed this to me. So I have the air filter for the Aero. The Aero filter. Sorry, I'll show myself out. You can open that door up again. So we're going to install this, but not right now. I'm thinking about finding a way to do a little bit of home scale manufacturing. If I could find a way to quickly cut out this shape from this filter material I bought for the purpose of doing this, I might be able to make $20 over the course of a year. It's something I'm familiar with. You know that.
Making $20 a year? Ooh.
It's not that bad. I'm making $20 a month, roughly, with what I'm thinking about, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I think it's worth talking about. Anyway, I ordered this stuff. One reason, it's coming back to me now, one reason I didn't order the aftermarket filter from eBay is because it was very vague about what it was made out of. It looked foam, but it was just non-branded, and I didn't know what I'd be getting. This is uni filter material, made in USA. You guys have seen that name all over the place. I think if I could make these filters and sell them for $10 plus shipping, I could make a few bucks, and more importantly, or as importantly, people could get filters for their Aero scooter. Let me know what you guys think. Especially as far as how I could cut this really accurately and reliably. So one way that I make about $20 a month is by selling items on eBay. And the item I'm thinking about earns me $4 profit. And I sell about 5 of those a month. So that's where I came up with that number, and that's what reminded me of this item, just doing little nickel and dime stuff. Tell me what you do in this situation. I shipped one of my items. It showed on the tracking that it was delivered, but the buyer has told me that it's not delivered and he wants his money back. He's opened up a case through eBay. And I think that there's a lot of seller-centric systems already in place on eBay. You're pretty well protected as a seller. Buyer, I've got it opposite. For a buyer, you're pretty well protected on eBay. I'm sorry about that. if they get an item and they say it's not to their satisfaction, the seller's on the hook for that. But what about when it says it's delivered and the guy's telling me it's not? Should I shoulder that responsibility? What do you think?
Has he contacted his local post office?
Hasn't told me that. I said talk to your neighbors, talk to your post office. He didn't respond to that message. I just got a notification that he wanted his money back. I'm sorry for wasting your time with that. I don't think I should refund him. Of all the people that should pay for that, me? Come on now. Post office? Sure. But he knows he's not going to get any traction with the post office. So he's going for the low-hanging fruit.
I don't think it's your responsibility.
I'm not Amazon.
No.
Can you do that with Amazon? It says delivered, but it's not?
I don't know.
I think you might be able to.
Where are we going? You're in between
Well,
rooms.
that's a great question.
Okay.
What I told him was, it's my policy to not refund items that are marked as delivered. But what I can do is sell you another item at cost. $7. I'll sell it to him for $7. We'll see what happens. I feel like there may be a negative feedback in my future, but don't think twice. It's all right. We're working on parting out this XL 600R that we got from Gary. It was too far gone to bring back. If any of you guys have a use for XL 600 parts, let me know. Contact at jennysgarage.com. I'm not going to give the stuff away, but it'll be cheaper than eBay. What I think we're going to do tomorrow is go somewhere that makes me uncomfortable. If I thought about it, I could think of a joke, but it's not a joke. It's the police station. We're going to the CHP. Yeah.
Do I have to come?
No. You're having a visitor tomorrow. She's having her girlfriend over. So, I don't know. I think I would rather girl talk than CHP.
We're going to make bread and soap. I know how to make bread. She knows how to make soap.
You're going to combine skills and learn from each other.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get the ingredients mixed up.
Heyo! I think that I'd rather girl talk than CHP. That many friendly, helpful people at one place, it just makes me uncomfortable. Going to the police station. So, I think that's the next thing I want to talk about. If you were tuning in for the title, It's Over. Nice to have you. That's two things that I think could help you out. How to get obsolete parts. Ask your dealer. I know Honda does it. I don't know about the other manufacturers, but they're hooked up to each other nationwide. I got my air filter from Wisconsin. I live in California. If it's the only option you have, talk to the parts guy at your local power sports place. Maybe they can locate what you're looking for. Second of all, you might not need to take your ignition switch to the locksmith for a key. Might be able to get one from eBay. That's it for the Honda Aero scooter. We're going to take that for a ride as soon as I get the air filter on and the side panels installed. You might just take it for a ride.
I probably will.
So, this is our 1997 DR350 that we got from Robert up there in the hills. Got it running, and I told you guys I was going to sell it as is. I have no paperwork on it. It doesn't run well. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace for $700. People weren't interested. And I think that's because the only people that would want this are people that would need the parts. I don't think somebody would buy this as a project because it's missing a lot of things. It's not a usable dirt bike as it sits. There's no fenders. There's no front brake. The back brake hardly works if you watch that video, and it runs poorly. So unless you have a real need for engine cases or cylinder or forks or wheels, who wants this? Nobody that I'm aware of. So it didn't sell. And I got a message from another generous viewer. The Key Supply isn't the only one. Eric sent me a message. He said, I have a carburetor for a DR350, the same model as the one that's on it. He sent me that message because I mentioned that I think the problem with the engine not running well is a worn out carburetor. So he says he has one. He said he'll send it to me for free. What a great guy. He sent it to me. And it's over here. So now I have a carburetor to test my theory. Now, this is great. It also makes me nervous because I'm going to test my theory about why it didn't run well. But this just needs to be assembled and put on the DR350.
Okay.
So I think it's going to run well. Another thing I did something else. This is going to be a long video.
I still don't know what we're doing in this video.
We're talking about the things I already talked about.
Okay.
2 things. How to get obsolete parts for your machine.
Okay.
And how to get a key.
Okay.
Without calling up your locksmith.
Okay.
We did that, and this is just other things that's happening. What we're doing is, see, generally in videos, I decide what I want to make a video about, and then we film it. We put on a show, and then I edit it for days. Try to get it just right. Try to get the audio just right. Try to make the transition smooth. It's not happening anymore. It just doesn't work. So what we're doing is snapshot of what we're up to in the garage with a focus on things that I think will be interesting. I'm not going to sweep the floor for you. So this is what's happening right now. The DR350 is back on the menu.
Okay.
That's what we're trajectorying toward right now.
Okay.
Because we got the carburetor from Eric, and as I said, I did something else. Something I really want is a 300cc 2-stroke, late model, KTM, Beta, Husqvarna, 2010 or newer, 300 2-stroke, street legal, legitimately street legal in California. The internet says that's impossible, but the internet is a bigot. The internet is rotten. It's not impossible. It's just rare. They're out there. So I found one, a 2021 Beta 300. Contacted the guy. He said he'd sell it to me for a great price. I live up in the hills here in California. He's about 2 hours from me. 3 hours from me in Salinas. He said, come and get it. I'm tired of all the flakes who've been contacting me about it. So I get in my car early 2 days ago, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. And I started driving because the night before he said, yeah, come and get it. I said, okay, I'll call you tomorrow morning. I want to come see it. But I just started driving because it was early. I stopped for fuel and I decided I should call the guy just to firm things up. And I was only about 30 minutes from my house at that point. He didn't answer his phone. Didn't answer his texts. So I thought, I wonder what's going on here. Seemed like a great guy. James. Now I think he's a giant peach. Or he seemed like a giant peach. But he had a rotten core. turns out. Never responded to me.
I see what you did there with James.
Yeah, it would have worked better. But it is what it is. He wasn't a giant peach. Willy Wonka character. Doesn't do what he says. It's funny, the guys that talk about the flakes, so many flakes on Facebook. Well, he's the one that flaked on me. He ghosted me. And then the listing was deleted. So I think somebody must have come along and offered him more money. Just in that short time, that evening to morning. So I was already 30 miles down the hill. And
in the mood to get some wheels.
And I was ready to buy something. Well, I had my eye already on a DR250 Suzuki, which is similar to that one. And I was thinking, the DR250 for sale has fenders. And it has a front brake caliper. Come on back over here. We're done in there. Unless I decide to go back. It has a brake caliper. It has fenders. Girl was asking $400 for it. It also had the back brake reservoir, which we need. I think the only reason the back brakes don't work is because there's no fluid in here. It'll do that every time because it all leaked out. Remember, this caught on fire. So all the fluid leaked out of the reservoir. The DR250 for sale had the reservoir, the caliper, the fenders. That stuff adds up if a guy wanted to fix this one up. So since I was already somewhat close to the DR250, I was headed in that direction on my way, incidentally, to Salinas. And that deal was done. I made a deal on a 1990 DR250. Bought it from Janessa, and I'm thinking about fixing this up into a working dirt bike. But I don't want to put any effort into this if it's stolen. And that's why I need to go see the police tomorrow. If I just give them the VIN number, if I go in there and give them the VIN number or call them with the VIN number, they won't run it. They want it there at their place, probably so they can just take it, which is okay. I'd rather go to them than have them come to me.
Oh, yeah.
If it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's stolen, but I don't know that it's not. And you guys saw where it came from. I don't think Robert thinks it's stolen, but who knows what happened beforehand. Look at it. It's possible. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
It's possible. So.
I don't think it's stolen, though. I'm just going to say it.
Would you bet money?
How much?
20.
Well, it doesn't even
It doesn't matter.
But sure. I'll bet you 20 of your dollars.
I wouldn't put 20 down. I think it's 50-50. I think it's even money that it's stolen or not stolen. So we'll see. Tomorrow, I will have the courage to load this up, go see those guys, and find out.
I'll give you 20 kisses if it's not stolen.
Okay. So that's what we'll do tomorrow, and I will let you know tomorrow what the outcome is. I think that's all I have. If anybody watching has a newer, not going to say brand new, 300cc two-stroke with a real California license plate, legitimate, not South Dakota, Arizona, let me know. You can email contact@jennysgarage.com or leave us a voicemail or text us. I'm selling the Trail 90 with the 125 engine in it. That reminded me.
That's kind of a bummer. That's the only motorcycle you have that I can start right now.
We'll change that. This one was out of gas. That's why it didn't start. She got a wild hair and wanted to go for a ride 2 days ago, and nothing started.
I tried to get this going. I couldn't get it going.
I'm a great mechanic.
Well, part of it is user error.
I want to sell this even though I'm choking up. I want to sell this even though it's an institution. It's a pan. It's time for it to move on to somebody else though. Electric start, 125cc Honda ATC engine. It's all Honda. I'm proud of my work. It's not just thrown together. It's got a few little issues like this engine mount. Come on over here.
I was just thinking, I think I bought you that seat for our anniversary.
I think you did. It's got a really nice seat. So when the suspension fully compresses,
Oh, it's the mirror in my face. Okay.
it touches this engine mount. It used to touch upon just slight compression. That's why this has been edited. See, these pieces here were right here, but I cut them and moved them in. Now it's definitely rideable. It hardly ever makes contact, but if somebody buys this, they should maybe fix that or only ride on smooth roads. It's a great machine though, and it does run. Watch this. Don't do that to me. Don't even try. The gas was off, so that's why it didn't start right away.
You're lucky you didn't ask me to start that on camera.
But great machine. Lights work. No turn signals. You don't need turn signals on a 69. Horn. Brakes. For you guys, $1,000 buys the CT90 125 conversion. Clear California title. Street legal. It's not currently registered. It's on non-op. So there's no penalties. But I stopped riding it, so I didn't even feel like I needed to pay registration and insurance on it. If you're interested, let me know. We're in Amador County, California. I think that's all I've got. How about you? What's on your mind?
I have to make Rice Krispie treats.
I thought it was bread and soap.
That's tomorrow. The Rice Krispie treats are for tennis club.
I need to know if this has a clear history or not before I buy grips for it. It needs grips. Remember, it has sticky grips.
Yeah, I don't want to touch those.
Come off right in your hand. It's the opposite of an M&M. It does melt in your hand, not in your mouth.
Ugh.
Haven't tasted them yet, though. So I don't know for sure. Let you know how this turns out. I'm just rambling now. Thanks for watching.